So, Robert, what's occurred to me is that you and I have had a chance to talk to a lot of people in the last few days and the last few weeks about how intense the feelings have been of what's going on in the world. But they don't get to hear it from each other, and they don't get to know that they're not alone. Many people have been reaching out. What have you been hearing?
It's unfortunate that what happened just kind of happened in front of everybody, and one person said to me, "Is it strange that I didn't know that others were feeling this way? I thought it was just me."
Yeah, and I think that, it's been all of us together. Past few weeks have been really distressing for sure. And it's really normal for people to be experiencing very intense emotions, really unpleasant emotions right now. But we all have the ability to stay aware of those emotions, to acknowledge them, to name them, to feel them, and to give ourselves time to process them. Right now, it's really important that people do that.
I think it will be good for us to share some of the feelings that we heard most frequently from members of our community.
All right, go ahead. So, what have you heard?
Uh, some people are saying, "I feel unsafe. I'm afraid."
That's probably the number one thing that we have been hearing. And I think that it's really obvious why. But the first step is to acknowledge that feeling, to feel scared, and even though I feel scared, I'm not in immediate danger. When we are in immediate danger, our brains go into survival mode. And survival mode is not our best thinking. It's not our most rational thinking. And so one of the things that I've encouraged people when they're noticing that is to check in with themselves and figure out what is dangerous right now and what's not, and how can I try to make the safest decision for myself and my family. So right now you have the ability to slow down that fear response the best you can so that we can keep our rational brain still engaged.
One of the things that some people are saying, they look at it at "I escaped terror, and now it is here."
Yeah. That one's hard, right? It's really hard because our community includes many people who have survived different traumas and different difficult situations. And so to see on our televisions and to see in our country, in our nation's capital, trauma, it's really difficult. Um, and it's sort of hard and it's a little bit contradictory, but really the power of our society is that people who have been through trauma, people who've been through difficult things, are very frequently the leaders who help make change. That being in this moment is the time that we start to look with fresh eyes. We start to see things that need to be changed, and we don't take for granted some of the other things that we thought would always be there. So in the moment it's hard, but I think remembering that a lot of the community members we have who have been through things like the Holocaust or genocide or terror in countries outside of here or October 27th have taught us how much there is that's worth fighting for of civil society.
Yeah, I really feel for institutions.
Yeah, I think that fearing for institutions, one of the things people are scared about is there ever going to be a time where we can talk to each other the way that we used to talk to each other, or that people can make plans or agreement. And I think that it is really important when we notice that feeling, when we feel that fear, that we start with ourselves and figure out where can we build bridges, where can we outreach other people.
It is said that we saw all the event unfold in front of us on the TV, and I really feel deeply discouraged that hate has such strong roots.
I definitely feel that with you. And for me, the Dr. Martin Luther King quote that I heard, and that actually you've posted about beautifully, that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. But also that hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And I thought about how hard that is, and I've talked to people that right now it's really hard to feel that because we see so much anger and so much hate. And I think at the same time we have to hold on to hope, right? We have to hold on to hope because if we don't, then by default there's nothing left to fight for. And I think you and I have talked a lot about, and we've known that for a lot of people there is a lot to fight for. There is a lot that's worth fighting for right now.
Let us just keep on holding on to hope and love for each other and ourselves at times like this.
And I think for people who do feel alone, knowing that you and I will be here next week, they can always call, they can come in. The JCC will be open. We are ready to welcome conversation so that people don't feel alone, because we're not alone. The doors are open for building community and knowing that we have people around us to support us. So thank you.
Okay.